in our nation are overweight and obese, and it's unfortunately getting worse. Stated on the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention website, overweight is defined as excess body weight for a particular height from fat, muscle, bone, water, or a combination of all of these factors. Obese is defined as having excess body fat. Obesity is a result of having too little calories being burned off for the amount of calories being taken in. Your weight is also affected by your genetics, behavior, and environment. Obesity has many risks that goes along with it, but it can be yielded if not prevented. Personally, being an assistant teacher, I do everything I can to keep my kids healthy, but it's ultimately the parent's job. Therefore, I'm here to tell you about childhood obesity, its risk, and how to bring your child's health back to the positive side. First, I'll start by showing you how bad the children's health has gotten. Obesity has increased. According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention website, it has more than doubled in age 6 to 11 and quadrupled in adolescents age 12 to 19. Obesity in children increased from 7% in 1980 to 18% in 2012. Over the same period of time, obesity in adolescents increased 5% to an eye-popping 21%. More than one-third of the children were obese in 2012. That is one-third of our nation's children who are unhealthy and at risk for more health problems and physical problems. Next, let's talk about some of those risks. There are many problems that goes along with obesity. Kids who are obese and increased risk of health problems. According to M.N. Jimerson in his book, Diseases and Disorders, Childhood Obesity, these increased health risks include metabolic syndrome, cardiovascular disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, different types of diabetes, cancer, and more. Most conditions and diseases that used to be common in adults are now becoming more common in children who are obese. Also found in M.N. Jimerson's book, amputations, vision loss, and dialysis are becoming more common in young kids who are obese. The life expectancy could decrease in youth kids today also. The risks are really miserable and scary, especially for a young child, so let's now talk about what can be done to stop it. Then there are numerous things a parent can do to keep their kids healthy and in shape. First, there needs to be sufficient amount of physical activity in child's everyday life. According to the Child Overweight and Obesity Prevention, written by Stephen K. Gosson, an adequate amount of physical activity is 60 minutes per day and 30 minutes of vigorous activity 3 times per week. Promoting outdoor family activities and play that meet these recommendations is a good way to get your children out and excited about exercise. The second most important factor in keeping kids healthy is getting them into healthy eating patterns. Limiting, if not completely eliminating, child's intake of sweetened drinks such as fruit juices, soft drinks, and sports drinks. Also mentioned in Gosson's article, the consumption of sweetened drinks skyrocketed during the same period of time that obesity in children swirled out of control. Encouraging children to eat healthy and limit their meal sizes is a start to change. Meals must include at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables in their diet daily. Parents should check the nutrition facts on the back of their food packages to help pick foods that has low calories and low saturated fats. In the words of Gosson, by putting forth a conscious effort to evaluate the food our children are presented at school with each day, we will favorably impact child health. As you see, obesity in our young kids has gotten to an all-time high, but there are ways to prevent it, or at least bring it to the yield. Obesity has increased from 7% to 18% in children and 5% to 21% in adolescents, but by keeping your kids physically active for at least 60 minutes daily and monitoring their food consumption, you can help most of those numbers drop down again. Obesity is dangerous, especially for young kids. Problems like cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, and even cancer are problems that should not be happening in our youth. These risks can be prevented. Childhood obesity can be prevented, but first, parents must be the example in their child's life by eating the right foods and exercising regularly. Also by encouraging their kids to do so too. If we want to see change in our kids, we must first be the change. Thank you.
Yo, I think your dog dying.